Welcome to Digital Asset News, or Dan for short. My name is Rob, and today, just as the thumbnail and title suggest, Binance apparently is going to buy FTX. And this just came about from a tweet from CZ Binance, and this was just about 20 or 30 minutes ago, so this is very fresh. This is a developing story, but I got to tell you, this has been one hell of a roller coaster. And it's amazing how you can go from insolvency or illiquidity to a bailout and everything being fine. So we'll take a look at the story about what exactly happened, why Binance buys FTX, and then also another development. Sun Tzu from 3 Arrows Capital, or Zhu from 3 Arrows Capital is back. And I got to tell you, I think we are extremely, extremely early. In the last, we'll just do a little Q&A because I'm sure everyone's going to have questions. I will answer them to the best of my ability. So let's just jump right in, shall we? So first things first, we actually covered this the last 3 days or so. We talked about, look, I think we've all learned a lesson from Voyager and Celsius, and it was important that we understand that we never, ever leave crypto on exchanges. We use them for what they are. They're just a tool. They are a tool for us to buy crypto. That's pretty much it. And as time goes on, you realize that that's the power of Ledger, and that's the reason why it's so great to be outside the system. So when we covered this yesterday, we talked about how Sam had come out and he had said, look, he goes, a competitor trying to go after those false rumors. FTX is fine. Assets are fine. And who is this? Readers added context. Gotta love Twitter. They bought P1.0. There's an indirect response to Binance announcing they will liquidate all of FTX native token. Okay. FTX is enough to cover all client holdings. We'll see. We don't invest client assets, even in treasuries. That's good. We've been processing all withdrawals except for today, and will continue to be. Some details on withdrawal speed and so on and so forth. We're heavily regulated, even when that slows down. We have gap audits with billion access cash. I'd love it if CZ, Binance, if we could work together. Oh, they are working together. Let me tell you. So again, I talked about this. I'm like, doesn't this sound kind of like what we heard from Alex Mashinsky and Steve Ehrlich from Voyager and Celsius? Like, it's okay, citizens, just keep moving on. Nothing to see here. And then today we got reports that withdrawals were frozen. And then we also got other reports that, and of course, there's a difference between FTX Global and FTX US. My friend Neville here, former veteran or fellow veteran, just said that, hey, I can still withdraw crypto. And it looks like for FTX US, you still can as time is going on. But for FTX, as far as the global one, not so much. And this is a problem. As I was talking about, I'm like, another thing that came up, Ontario teaches pension plan invested in FTX at a $32 billion valuation. So this is also a reminder that Quebec pension fund invested in Celsius. So this is going to give us another black eye, quite honestly. And then more stuff about the illiquidity, but this is the big. This is CZ Binance. This is his official account. This afternoon, FTX asked us for help. There's a significant liquidity crunch. So, to protect users, we signed a non-binding LOI or letter of intent, intending to fully acquire FTX.com. Let me say that again. To fully acquire FTX.com. They're going to absorb FTX and help cover the liquidity crunch. We'll be conducting a full due diligence in the coming days. I'm sorry, 44 minutes ago. So that's what's happening. And as you remember, yesterday, or within the last 24 or 36 hours, CZ came out and said, look, we're going to sell off all our FTT tokens, which is the official token of FTX. And there was some words that were said, and that was his decision. And here we are right now. And I said, wow, a monopoly is forming all from a previous tweet. And it's just perfect timing. And I'm not here to say that Binance did that for a specific reason, but it is what it is. And here we are. Again, I want to say congratulations to everybody who followed the advice and followed the rules, which are below me at all times. Never invest more than you can afford to lose. It's all gone. Everything's a scam. Don't put anything on exchanges. Take them off. Use a ledger. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, go to danteachescrypto.com. It's 100% free. And I give you a walkthrough of how to use a ledger. Very simple. Don't use leverage. 50, 100x is a little crazy. If you're a big trader, go ahead and use a little. And then take profits along the way. I think it's very simple things. And then this is what Sam also said. This just came out When was this? Just now. Yeah. Sam says, hey, all. I have a few announcements to make. Things have come full circle, and FTX.com's first and last investors are the same. We've come to an agreement on a strategic transaction with Binance for FTX.com pending due diligence. So you have it on both fronts. You have it CZ, you have an SBF. So this is legit. Our teams are working on clearing out the withdrawal backlog as is. This will clear out liquidity crunches. All assets will be covered one-to-one. Let me say it again. This is what Sam is saying, not what I'm saying. All assets will be covered one-to-one. This is one of the main reasons we've asked Binance to come in and we take a bit to settle. We apologize. Important thing is customers are protected. I got to take my hat off to Sam. He did exactly what he said he was going to do. He's like, look, it's all starts and ends with the customers, and we're going to make sure that this happens, even if I have to sell my entire business. A huge thank you to CZ, Binance, and all of our supporters. This is a user-centric development. CZ has done and will continue to do so an incredible job. I know there have been rumors and media of conflict between our two exchanges. However, Binance has showed time and time again that they are committed to a more decentralized global economy while working to improve industrial relations with regulators. Note that FTX US and Binance.US, two separate companies, interesting, are not currently impacted by this. FTX.US withdrawals are and have been live, is fully backed, one-to-one, and operating normally. So again, that what he talked about there was just about the withdrawals. And that's true with what we saw with friend of the show, Neville. FTX US withdrawals are not an issue. However, they are buying out FTX. Does that mean FTX and FTX US? Doesn't say for certain 100%. I can't say. But does it really matter? I mean, this is where we're at. And let's see how the market responds. Let me refresh this right now in the last hour or so. Hey, look at that. In the last hour, Bitcoin has jumped 5%. Let's take a peek. Yeah. So here we are. Once that news hit, Bitcoin went down and a big jump. Pretty interesting. You would think it would negatively impact, but apparently not. Ethereum's up 7%. Binance Coin, man, thank goodness I dollar cost average in the morning. Binance Coin is up. You know, I'm not going to give you financial advice because I'm not a financial advisor, but I got to tell you, Binance Coin looks pretty attractive right now. I'm just saying. I probably won't buy it, but I will leave that up to your own devices as you go from there. So Binance Coin, excuse me. Just kidding. But I probably should buy some. I'm not telling you to do it. Don't do what I do. Dogecoin up 10%. Geez, everything's up. We should have more of these acquisitions. So right now, I need to stress this, that this is good right now for what's going on. But where does it end? Because if you have FTX, and how big is FTX? Let me show you how big they are. Matter of fact, there's a website, and we talked about this yesterday, nomics.com/exchanges. Let's take a look at the volume. This may be a little bit skewed. It looks pretty good. Binance, in the last 24 hours, the volume was 119 billion. FTX, and rightfully so, 21 billion, probably people moving, selling, exchanging, transferring. It's a lot of volume, right? And then OKX, 20% by a bit. FTX is usually in the top 5 by volume, percentage-wise. So, or number-wise. So you can see right here just how big FTX is. So if Binance absorbs FTX, and we have another liquidity crisis with the next, I don't know, numbers 3 through 6, and Binance steps in again, how far away are we from a monopoly? I mean, in reality. And what does that mean? And really have to ask yourself is how much power does one person have by a tweet? I don't know. I can't answer those questions, but I can tell you that's a lot of power in one person's hands, I guess. So let me just think about that in the comment section, but I just think it's just a little concerning, not just how things are moving. And I'm glad for all the depositors. I personally use FTX, but I don't leave anything on there. Obviously not. But as time goes on, is this a good thing or is this a bad thing for the crypto community? And I've always said before, I always felt like as things start to move and all these, just talking about the projects, 2 things in the projects. First of all, projects are going to fail, and the bigger projects will absorb them. They will take away their IP. They will take away their developers. They will take away their infrastructure and say, we're going to absorb you. That's just how it is. That's just the business. Is that wrong? That's just how things work. It's a free market. And the second thing I will say is that some people may look at this as negative or positive, but you have to understand this is just the exchanges. This has nothing to do with the project. Was it reported that there was a double spend for Bitcoin? Was it reported that a block wasn't produced for a couple of days for Ethereum? Was there any issues with the hack for any layer 1 solutions, excluding the DeFis? No, no, and no. So when people come to you and say, hey, I heard there's a lot of turbulence, a lot of things going on, a lot of problems, just say, that's really just mostly with those exchanges. And I just use those to buy what crypto really is, which are the exact projects and the decentralized aspects of it. And that's why I'm here. So make a real big distinction between those two. And then lastly, just to finish up, I thought this was interesting, is this is from a friend of the show, Simon Yu, also known as the Simon Indicator, who still has not got his YouTube channel up. I guess he's too busy playing poker. That's okay, Simon. This is what it is. He goes, and now Zoo is back. Zoo Su, relying at Kobe and at Alameda, Trabuco. Good morning. I don't know what that could entail, but Zoo Su, as you may be familiar with, is it doesn't say anymore. Well, was the founder of 3 Hours Capital, which is pretty much largely responsible for most of the messes that are going on right now. So amazing that he's got the cojones to come out and start tweeting. That's a ball. Oh no, looks like Gary Gensler is messing around with my Wi-Fi. Just kidding, just the electricity here. So lastly, I will say this is that we're early. And if you don't, and I know people will debate me on this all day long, we're not that early. We're in the 6th or 7th inning. I don't think so. I'm going to tell you why. First of all, what's the market cap of crypto right now? It's $1.06 trillion. 1.06 trillion. Here's a story. 1.3 trillion in equity vanished in housing in the 3rd quarter. Let me say that one more time. $1.3 trillion in equity. The prices of the houses are going down in just 1 quarter, which, let me do some quick math. That's 3 months, roughly, has eliminated $1.3 trillion. That is more than our entire market cap. So if you think like, nah, we're late in the inning. We are so early. We're so early, it's not even funny. And if you can get through this, again, like I've always said, this is like the Squid Game of finance. If you can get through this and hold on and make some smart choices, you'll be rewarded. The problem is, who's going to stick around? I mean, I'll be here. I don't know if you will, but I hope you will. Hope you stick around. But that's it for today. So I just want to bring it to your attention that I did not have that on my, who said this? I think it was Guy. That was not on my bingo card that Binance would buy out FTX and move on. But I got to tell you, the markets have responded pretty positively. So let me just think about all that stuff in the comment section. And that is it for today. So look, that's the big news. I don't think there's any really, something else might be going on. I don't really know what it is. But that's what we got. So if you got to take off, take off. I appreciate you stopping by. Just as a recap, CZ Binance came out and said, hey, I'm buying FTX because Sam reached out and he needed help. And that's what's happening. But if you want to stick around, we'll do some Q&A. If not, get out of here. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, like, and subscribe, all the good stuff.